I'm 85 years old, and I spent 50 years at sea. During this time, my ship sank 3 times. 7 times I thought I would die in storms. I saw 15-meter waves in the Pacific. I was lost for 3 days in the Indian Ocean. But that wasn't the scariest thing. The scariest thing was seeing what a person can encounter when alone at sea. Tonight I'm going to tell you about those 50 years. My name is James Sullivan. I'm 85 years old, a retired ship captain. In 1958, when I was 18, I boarded my first ship. I retired in 2008 at age 68. I worked at sea continuously for 50 years. During these 50, I visited 20. I circled the globe 43. I was captain on 8 different ships. I survived 3 ship sinkings. I encountered countless storms, accidents, and dangers. Now I live on land, in San Diego. But in my dreams, I'm still at sea. Tonight I'm going to tell you about those experiences. My first ship was a cargo vessel, named Blue Star, an old 5,000-ton steamer. I was the youngest crew member, started as a deck apprentice. Our first voyage was transporting coal from New York to Hamburg. We'd cross the Atlantic, the North Sea. I was excited but also scared. The first night on deck, an old sailor came up to me. "Son," he said, "the sea doesn't forgive, but if you show respect, it will protect you." I never forgot that sentence. I experienced my first major storm in 1959 in the Bay of Biscay. It was winter. The Atlantic was very angry. It started calm in the morning. Toward noon, the wind picked up. By evening, the storm had begun. There were 10-meter waves. The ship swayed left and right. Everyone was vomiting. I was working on deck. I was wet. I was freezing. I was crying from fear. The captain yelled, "James, be scared but don't panic. Use your fear, survive." That night the storm lasted 18 hours. When morning came, I collapsed exhausted. But I was alive. I had learned my first lesson. The sea is powerful. You are small. I experienced my first ship sinking in 1965. In the Indian Ocean off the coast of Sri Lanka. Our ship was a cargo vessel named Atlantic Star. A fire broke out in the engine room. We couldn't extinguish it, it spread. The captain gave the abandoned ship order. We boarded lifeboats, 23 crew members distributed among 3 lifeboats. Watching the ship sink was very painful. Slowly it submerged from the bow. It completely disappeared in 50. We stayed at sea for 3 days. Water had run out. There was hunger. The sun was scorching. Some friends started having delusions. On the 4th day, a fishing boat found us. We were miraculously rescued. From that day on, I both respected the sea more and loved it more. In 1975, I became captain of my own ship. I was 35 years old. A container ship named Pacific Star. Giving the first command was very exciting, but the responsibility was also very heavy. The lives of 40 people depend on your decision. My first voyage was from Los Angeles to Hong Kong. We passed through the Panama Canal, Pacific. It took 20. On that voyage, I learned that being captain isn't just operating a ship. Managing the crew, making decisions, managing crises, all are included. In 1978, we were attacked by pirates off Somalia. It was one of my scariest experiences. At 2 a.m. radar detected 3 fast boats. They were approaching. We understood they were pirates. We immediately sent an emergency signal. We gathered the crew, locked them in the safe room. 3 people remained on the bridge. The pirates came. They opened fire. Bridge windows shattered. They were trying to board the ship. Just then help came from a frigate. The warship chased the pirates. We were rescued. That night I couldn't sleep at all. My hands were trembling. I had witnessed gunfire for the first time, experienced real danger. The second ship sinking was more dramatic. In the South Atlantic, we encountered a terrible storm. Our ship was a tanker named Ocean Pride. We were carrying crude oil. The storm hit suddenly. The waves were 15 meters. Wind 120 kilometers/hour. The ship couldn't withstand it. At 6 a.m. we noticed a crack in the hull. Water was entering. Starting the pumps didn't help. To the lifeboats again. This time we were rescued after 4 hours. But our ship sank. Cargo was lost. The company held me responsible as captain. An investigation was opened. 6 months later I was acquitted. Natural disaster ruling came out. But the psychological effects lasted long. I stayed on land for 2 months. Thought, but the sea called. I returned. In 1987 I experienced the biggest storm I've ever seen. In the Pacific Ocean near Japan, we had received a typhoon warning, but didn't anticipate it would be this severe. There was no time to escape. We were caught right in the middle. Waves 20 meters. Yes, 20 meters. The height of a 6-story building. The ship was like a toy. It lasted 48 hours. 48 hours of fear of death. Everyone was praying. Secular, religious, whoever. The ship was damaged but didn't sink. Miracle. After the storm subsided, we limped to the nearest port. After that storm, many things changed in me. I started looking at life, death, everything differently. My last ship sinking was in 1995. In the North Sea, on a cold winter day. My ship was a ro-ro vessel named Freedom. We were transporting vehicles. A loading error was made. Balance was off. When the storm started, the ship swayed excessively. We tried to correct it, but it was too late. The ship listed. Getting to the lifeboats was very difficult. The sea was ice cold. Survival time was 10 minutes. Helicopters came, pulled us from the water. All 45 crew members were rescued. This was great luck. That day I made a promise. My ship will never sink again. And truly, until 2008. In 1998, I took on a special mission, transporting research equipment to Antarctica. Sailing among glaciers was incredible. Giant icebergs, penguins, seals, another world. But it was very dangerous. Glaciers could suddenly break, could hit the ship. Had to be very careful. One day I saw a very large ice mass broke off, coming toward the ship. We fled at full speed, escaped at the last moment. That voyage lasted 3 months. We stayed in Antarctica for 6 weeks. It was the most extraordinary experience of my life. In 2001, I participated in a rescue operation. A merchant vessel had sunk in the Mediterranean. Crew was left in the water. We were the nearest ship. We responded to the emergency call. Went there. There were 12 people in the water with life jackets. Within 2 hours we rescued them all. I'll never forget the gratitude in their eyes. This was what they call maritime brotherhood. That day I understood that seafaring isn't just commerce, it's also humanity. In 2008 I made my last voyage. I was 68, my retirement time had come. Last journey from New York to Rotterdam. I was nostalgic. I was sad. For 50 years I did this job. My youth, middle age, beginning of old age, always at sea. I got married, had 2 children, but I saw them very little. I was always at sea. When we arrived in Rotterdam, I was the last to leave the bridge. I handed over the ship for the last time. When I stepped onto land, my legs were trembling. After 50 years, I was now coming ashore. After retiring, getting used to living on land was difficult. For the first 6 months I dreamed of the sea every night. Sometimes good, sometimes nightmare. Then I gradually got used to it. I started spending time with my grandchildren. But I missed the sea. Every week I go to the shore. I look at the sea for hours. The profession changed a lot in 1958. Everything manual, no technology. In 2008, GPS, automation, digital systems. We used to find direction by looking at stars. Now they press buttons. But some things didn't change. The power of the sea, the danger of storms, crew solidarity, captain's responsibility. I'm 85 years old, with 50 years of experience. I say to young people, seafaring is difficult but honorable profession. If you choose it, Be prepared. To families. Being a seafarer's family is very hard. Be patient. To myself. I used my 50 years well. I have no regrets. Being at sea for 50 years had a cost. What I lost. Family time. My children growing up. Normal social life. A stable home. What I gained. Seeing the world. Sense of freedom. Powerful experiences. Maritime brotherhood. Was it worth it? Yes. But it wasn't easy. Most beautiful memories of 50. Sunset in the Caribbean. Dolphins escorting the ship. First time climbing to Captain's Bridge. Holiday celebrations with crew. Calm after the storm. 50 years at sea taught me this. The sea is like life. Sometimes calm, sometimes stormy. You can't control it. You adapt. You must show respect. You must be humble when small. I tell seafaring stories to my grandchildren. They love listening. Grandpa, weren't you scared? They say. Of course I was scared, I say. But fear shouldn't stop you. Courage is going forward despite fear. I'm 85 years old. I spent 50 years at sea. 3 ships sank beneath me. I survived 7 major storms. I saw 27 countries. I circled the globe 43 times. I stayed away from family for thousands of days. But I have no regrets, because the sea was my home. Now I'm retired, on land, but my soul is still at sea. Every morning when I wake up, the first thing I do is see the sea, hear its sound, because I'm a sailor, 50 years ago and today, and I'll remain so until my last breath. To listening youth, if the sea calls you, go, but go prepared. To sailors, be careful, the sea doesn't forgive. To families, wait for sailors, they miss you. And to the sea, thank you. For 50 years you were my home.